Human capital development is a key component in growing a country's economy. This is especially true in the case of Malaysia, where the government has its sights set on upgrading the economy to a whole new level. The government aims to have at least 35% of our workforce adequately skilled by the year 2020. This is in line with our long-standing aim to achieve a high-income developed economy status by that same year. But with about 2 years left, are we on track? And not only that, with the fast-changing business landscapes and new jobs constantly created almost every day, what are we doing to ensure that Malaysian employees will not just keep up, but thrive in this new norm? And joining me to discuss further is RA Thiagaraja. He's the CEO of K-Pintar Heart. Mr. Thiagaraja, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Human capital development in Malaysia is one of the most talked about topics. It's one of the key elements that we have to pay attention to if we want to advance our economy, especially into a digital economy going forward for the next few years. Yeah. First of all, what are your initial thoughts on the present state of the skilled workforce here in our country right now?
Currently, based on the recent Ministry of Human Resources report, we have 31% skilled workforce in the country. So we have 15 million workforce at the moment. So 31% of them are skilled workforce and 69% unskilled workforce at the moment. At the same time, continuously, more school leavers are coming into the employment market. We also have more diploma degree holders also coming into employment market. So for those diploma degree holders, even though they have academic qualification, they have a quite huge skill gap in terms of skill that needed for them to perform the job in the company they're going to work for. That gap is still there. So currently this is our current state of talent in Malaysia.
Where does it stand compared to other nations, especially ASEAN?
Okay, compared to Singapore, Singapore have 50% skilled workforce, right? And compared to Taiwan, they have 40%. Korea around a 41% skilled workforce in the region. Right. So we are still a lot more to catch up. So and government aspiration to achieve 35% of skilled workforce by 2020. I think is realistic. I think it's achievable with the kind of initiative and a program has been initiated by the government through various ministries and various government agencies.
But debatably, here in Malaysia right now, there's a lack of awareness on the importance of upskilling and reskilling employees or the workforce, whether be it on the employee side or the employee side. So this is the mindset that we have to challenge, because employers just don't see it important to reskill and upskill their employees, and employees also don't think that it's important for them to reskill themselves. So what are your thoughts on this issue that we're having right now?
I would say for us to achieve highly skilled workforce in the country, the three important stakeholders need to work together. It's the government, employers, as well as employees. And I would say government have recognized the importance of upskilling and reskilling Malaysian workforce. They have came out with a lot of initiative. Even with the recent budget, government have allocated 4.9 billion ringgit for the TVET master plan. But in terms of employers, I would say they're still a bit skeptical and reluctant to upskill their workforce, with the fear that the workforce is skilled, they may demand a higher salary, or will be headhunted by their competitors. This has been going on for the last 20-30 years. Because every employers are thinking in such a manner, all right? That's the reason why we are current state whereby employers not really upskilling and certifying their employees. On the other hand, we need to look into employees' mindset. Malaysians largely do not have lifelong learning mindset. Okay, even with many studies have shown, statistics have shown, reading habits among Malaysians are very poor. All right, so employees also need to change their mindset. They need to take up qualification, and most importantly, they need to sacrifice the present pleasure for a future gain. Right. There are instances whereby even though government came out with initiative, government provide a funded certification program, employees are reluctant to come and attend the classes during Saturday and Sunday. This is my time I supposed to spend with my family. So employees also need to change their mindset. They need to sacrifice for short term to gain something in the long run. So employees need to come in, need to realize the importance of upskilling and reskilling themselves. They also need to do short-term sacrifices, and they also need to look out for a qualification or program that's going to really add value for their career. So don't just take up any courses for sake of getting a paper qualification. So everybody have paper qualification, but if you take up industry recognized or industry driven certification or qualification program, those programs will be recognized by your future employers. It will be help you for the career advancement, will help you to perform better, to raise the productivity in the company that you're working for. So employees also need to play a very vital role in terms of taking up what are the qualifications that's really going to help them.
You mentioned that employees also need to change their mindset on the importance of reskilling and upskilling themselves. But it's interesting that you mentioned that employers also have this fear that if they reskill or upskill their employees, the employees will come back demanding higher compensation, higher benefits, or they will be headhunted by competitors. So this is the fear that employers that are still prevalent among Malaysian employers today. How do we address this challenge?
Okay. The challenge is we have done well in Malaysia in terms of positioning Malaysia as a country with low cost labor. All right, that was one of the selling points for many years when it comes to manufacturing sectors. But currently, looking at the Malaysian economy, 54.5% of the Malaysian GDP are contributed by services sector. All right, so we like it or not, employers need to invest on their people because services sector required professional, highly qualified, highly competent workforce and knowledgeable workforce. So therefore, employers need to look at it. For them to sustain their businesses, for them to grow their businesses, they need to really upskill their workforce. They can't be looking at, I want to maintain a low-cost labor. That's the reason even government initiated the minimum wage. All right, so minimum wage also in a way push employers to raise the salary. But we need to be fair to the employers as well. We can't be simply raising the salary without employees or they increase their productivity. Otherwise, business can't sustain. Right. So employers also need to play an important role, recognizing the talent that has contributed for your organization growth for so many years. Right. Look at the upskilling your workforce as a part of a talent retention strategy. So in a way, you can invest money on your employees as a strategy to retain your talent. Because another biggest challenge faced by business leaders nowadays whereby attracting and retaining highly competent talent.
And the challenge to do that is something that is one of the most debated topics, not just amongst employees but also among the general public today. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with RA Thiagaraja, CEO of K-Pintar Sdn Bhd. We talk about the state of the human capital development here in Malaysia. Marcus today will be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're back with me, Luqman Hariz and Marcus. Today I've been speaking to RA Thiagaraja, CEO of K-Pintar Sdn Bhd, on the importance of human capital development in Malaysia, especially when we have a goal to actually achieve a modern, developed, high-income economy by 2020. We've got about 2-3 years left. So before the break, Thiagaraja, we talked about a lot of things. But it's interesting that you also mentioned the fear amongst employers to upskill or reskill their employees. Because they are afraid that those employees will come back and demand higher salary, higher compensation, benefits and things like that, or they will be headhunted by companies who can offer higher benefits. So the budget 2018 was tabled not too long ago. In terms of the employees and the employers, the government needs to be the mediator. And do you think the government announced sufficient measures to actually address this issue and to ensure that human capital development stays on track in this country?
Right. If we look at the 2018 budget, government I would say in a macro perspective, government launched Plan Indo TWAT Malaysia, where the government have allocated 4.9 billion ringgit. but no detail were given during the budget presentation. All right. Therefore, we are not sure whether the government have any strong blueprint, strong initiative, right, to upskill workforce in the country. And there are, of course, many initiatives, a lot of funding has been allocated in terms of youth development, graduate employability, specific funding has been allocated. But in terms of workforce development, I didn't see any detail. Maybe they may reveal it in coming days. All right. On the other hand, we look at the Malaysian population at large. All right. We have 30 million population, and 15 million Malaysian populations are existing workforce. All right. Currently, what I know that government through HRDF, Human Resource Development Fund, they work with a lot of employers association, they work with a lot of training organization to upskill and reskill Malaysian workforce. There's one initiative, the ongoing initiative. Beside that, I don't see any other concrete or solid plan has been announced as part of the workforce development.
So for the viewers who are watching, who are interested in some of K-Pintar's programs and initiatives, they can go to your website?
Yes, they can go to our website, definitely. www.kpintaracademy.com.
All right, thank you so much, RA Thiagaraja, CEO of K-Pintar Sdn Bhd, talking to Asra Awani and Marcus today about the present state of the workforce in Malaysia and what we need to do to ensure that we remain on track to achieve our goal to become a developed high-income nation by 2020. And that's it for this episode of Markets Today. Send us all your feedback on all our social media platforms. What do you think of the conversation? Do you have an opinion? Let us know on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at 501 Awani. And be sure to catch the next episode of this special with K-Pintar coming soon. I'm Luqman Hariz. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.